related to the dumping of milk on dairy farms. And yes, the coronavirus pandemic is affecting all kinds of businesses, all kinds of people in different ways. And here on the dairy farm, we still produce milk 365 days a year, 24 hours a day, and we can't stop milking the cows. They need to be milked every day, even if there's not an outlet for that milk. And unfortunately now, because of COVID-19, there's been disruptions in the supply lines that have caused a number of farms to be forced to dump milk. We have not had to do that here ourselves, but have been told to prepare for that. So there's been a number of questions, concerns, just curiosity about why are farmers dumping milk into their manure pits or disposing of it when there's limits on the amount of milk that can be purchased in stores, or shortages, it appears, of milk in stores. There is no shortage of milk. There's a plentiful supply of milk. The problem is, there's a number of problems associated with this. One of them is some suppliers or processors of that milk are processing dairy products that are meant for the food service industry. For example, restaurants or hotels or schools. And according to our milk supplier, they said their food service industry demand has gone down 90% since the COVID virus pandemic has disrupted our lives. On the other hand, the retail, which would include things like grocery stores, has increased by 200%. So really they kind of offset each other. However, the problem is the factories or milk processors who are producing products specifically for the retail industry, like restaurants, for example, those little tiny packs of butter that you may get in a restaurant. All of a sudden there's zero demand for that. It's the inventory is piling up in warehouses because nobody's using it. Well, you can't just take that to the grocery store and sell it to the consumer. Or the processors who may be making shredded cheese by the tote or in extremely large volumes for a large pizza company, for example. You can't just take that cheese that is no longer needed by the pizza company and take it to the grocery store and sell it to consumers. So some of that is going on. It's really hard to shift the processing from the retail to, or from the restaurant industry, food service industry, and schools over to grocery stores. Another example of that is for the bottling. So there's been a really big demand for milk coming through grocery stores, and a lot of you have experienced what appears a shortage of milk. There's no shortage of milk, and there's really not a hoarding of milk, and really not a hoarding of a lot of these supplies that people are buying and causing grocery stores' shelves to go empty. It's that there's a lot of people at home now. As we've been required or forced to shelter at home and apply social distancing, people are buying more of those products to eat at home, where they used to drink milk or eat dairy products at the restaurants or at their workplace, or kids getting milk in schools. None of that is happening now. So there's this dramatic increased demand because more people need to get this food through the grocery stores. So what's the solution? Unfortunately, there isn't a really good solution. Our processors and a number of leaders in our industry are working really, really hard, tirelessly, to try to switch some of this production from retail or from the restaurant, food service industry over to retail and grocery stores. But some of it is a really big challenge. For example, one of the challenges with bottling of milk or getting it into containers for consumers in the grocery store is there's plenty of milk, but they can't keep up making the containers because there's a 2 or 3 time increase now in the demand for containers. And it's not just the containers. Then the label companies are working around the clock trying to produce labels for those containers. So there's so many things in this complicated picture of getting milk from these cows that is produced every single day, all day, processed and through to the consumers. So hopefully that helps you understand a little bit about what's going on behind the scenes in regards to dumping of milk. We are thankful and happy and love what we do, and hopefully all of us we'll be able to get back to normal soon.